Well, it's been a while since I did anything like this. Grandpa's tiny little garage. And I brought my Wheelhorse in because I noticed the blade was getting worn. You can see how close it is to the bolt there. What we're going to do is we're going to unbolt it and flip it, but at the same time, if you look, it's full of dirt and crap. It's bent up. So when I take the blade off, I'm going to straighten the edge, get it bolted flipped around, and then there's a little trick. I got gravel driveway, so does my neighbor. So what I'm going to do is, someone talked about putting a piece of PVC on the bottom of the blade. That way it doesn't dig into the stone. So we're going to figure that out, put that on, and we'll go from there. See what happens. So I got it soaking right now. I'm going to put some more stuff on it a little bit here, and then we'll see what happens. Be right back. Alright, so I went and got my sawhorses, one of them anyway, from outside. I put the plow on it and then I clamped it down so it won't fall off. I tried to take one of the bolts out and it stripped, and so I'm using my extractor and they're just snapping off. So I do have other bolts. I guess I could cut them off, but it's just too much noisy. Let's see what happens when I try to get this one off. Yeah, they just break off. And then they jam up in there, so then you have to take a punch and knock them out. Yep, out she comes. There you go for the back. Yeah. You'd think being over 30 years old, the bolts would just come loose, but no. So I do have some grade 8 bolts. And there she is. I'll have to knock them bolts out. But basically, this was the bottom. And what I'm going to do is flip it over, so then that'll be the bottom. And it gives a much better blade. So, alright. Then the next step is to straighten up his edge, which I think I'll flip it over for that. And there's that last knot. Alright. There she is. Yay! Get the C-clamps off. And flip this beast around. Yeah. That one. Here's this one. Alrighty, well. The edge is pretty rough, as you can see, like right here and here. So I think I'm gonna do is get my hammer and dolly and smack it around a little bit, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I got a couple big hammers and some ear protection, because when you're pounding on stuff, it gets kind of loud. And always have ear protection. And gloves. All right, let's see what we do. Cars crossing over in front of you all the time. I'd say that was pretty good. Alrighty. I'm not going to paint because I have a wood stove in the next room, so paint fumes and wood stoves really shouldn't go together too well. So let's scrape this one down a little bit. And I don't have regular, what are they called there? Carriage bolts. So I'm just going to use 5/16 with locking nuts. I had locking nuts on it before too. So I'll put this one in to hold it in place. And we'll put one up here. And then in the middle. thinking what I'll do this next summer, after I found out how easy the blade come off. And you probably wonder why I'm not using my headband for my camera. I, of course, forgot to find it, so there we are. So we'll take our 9/16. I like to use a ratchet then, but it won't fit in the place, so. Yeah, there's that. And let's just work our way across. How's that sound? Alrighty. Now, I can go through and hammer up the edges a little more here, make them match up. Sorry for the bouncing, I put the camera on the back of the seat. There we go. Not doing anything fancy. We can take another piece. And weld it to either the top or the bottom to break it up. But I don't think it needs it. You can even put it in behind. But again, it doesn't need it. That should hold pretty good right there where it is. Yeah. The other thing we gotta do now is figure out slicing the PVC pipe to fit on here where it ain't going to fall off. And I'm not going to cut a big piece to just do this because this is an experiment. I'm going to trim it, cut it. Maybe I'll take a section out of it, a section like here and here, to make it so it fits kind of flush like this. Well, you know what? That might work too. So you can drill a hole here and a hole over there and just clamp it on. Huh. Or fasten it onto the feet here. That might work pretty good too. Yeah, because that'll make this blade not dig in. You know what? Instead of going through a whole bunch of crap, why don't we do that? We'll drill a hole here, a hole here. We'll put in a 2-inch bolt to hold it up here. And we'll go test it out, see what it does. Alright, I'll be back. I think we're just going to use 1/4-inch bolts. Alright, we're going to do here's the edge, what it looks like all fastened on. And then we got the bottom side of the blade. And there's the feet I'm talking about. I think that's what they were for. Is the offset something like right there. We're going to try it out, see what it does. Cool? If it works, I might just put it all the way across because then it'll be scooping it all the way across that way. We'll see. So I'm going to see if I can cut this pipe. You see I marked it here. I'm going to cut it there, and then I got another line down here. So I'm going to take this much out of it to see if I can get it to fit flat against this blade and yet curve underneath. So there's a little risky doing this, but I got it there. So let's see if, yeah. Right. So I can't hold the saw and the camera at the same time. It tends to close up on you. All right, well. Let's drill a couple holes, bolt it on, put it back on the plow, or put the plow back on the tractor, and see if it'll work. Alright, so I drilled 1/4 inch hole, and you can't see the bolt, but it's 1.5 inches long. It fits in there, so I'm going to drill another one over there, and let's see what happens. Make sure it stays up where it needs to be. Against the bolt. That blade is very hard. So I'm going to put the other bolt in there, but I'm going to use regular nuts, because no locking nuts, because we don't know if this is even going to work. So why waste the locking nut? And try and get your fingers in there. Another thing. There we go. Now let's get the other one. Okay, that's going to snug it. Show your teeth. All right, it's not perfect, but it's going to have to do. Okay, so I got the blade in front of the tractor. What there was there was these two rods. This one's the lower rod. It's going to go through here, and then these here will fasten at the top of the plow with another rod. I'm going to see if I can set this where you can watch. There we go. Maybe that'll work, maybe it won't. actually be nice to have a helper. There you go. Now let's get the top ones in. Now, the top ones were held in with hitch pins. And the bottom ones were held in with cotter pins. So I'm going to put a cotter pin in that, and we'll be ready to test this out. See how much snow I can actually push with it before it breaks. See you in a bit.
It works pretty well.
Well, there you have it. Let's take a look at the plastic here. Looks like it survived all right.
Looks like it held up.
and it's not that far up where it lets this dig in, but it still doesn't prevent it from plowing either. So I guess we'll find out when I have to plow some real snow, and because I got gravel in the driveway, both the upper and lower, and so we'll find out whether it does it or not. Until then, thanks for watching Grandpa's Garage. Alright, got the table saw set up. Got it set for 1 inch. Got like a 1/2 inch gap there. I'm going to use this line here to try to keep it straight as I can. I don't know if it's going to work doing this, because I know on the other pipe it collapsed on me, so let's see what happens. Alright, we got a slot in there. And it might just work. Alrighty. Let's see if I can get this up in the air now. So I got the old one off, and you can see it snap the backside. Pretty nearly wore through it. So I'm not sure this pipe's going to last an awful long time. But I guess we're not going to know until we try, huh? Let's see here. Will it fit this way? I don't know. I'll say do it again. I think I'd use a 3/4 inch piece of pipe instead of 1.5 inches, because it would fit the blade better. Is this gonna? Yeah, this is gonna flex around. Yeah, I got some 3/4 inch pipe too. And again, one guy said he just took a 1.5 inch piece of steel pipe and welded it on his plow, but oh my, that just, when you gotta lift it by hand, like mine is, with the lever, that's an awful lot of weight. Well, we'll see what it does. Right now I'm getting it charged up. The battery seems to be okay, so maybe the terminals need cleaning. Check the oil, put gas in it. I gotta change this tire. It's starting to split. Even in the treads, it's splitting. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it down and see what it does.